My mother, was a singer. She was a child singer. She was kind of like Shirley Temple, only she only played it in the Catskills. My father was great. He was sort of not that controlling or anything like that. I don't think he got it really, but and he was especially happy when we started making money. And he used to wear a Steely Dan hat and talk to fans when they went on vacation and all that. So they were pretty happy about it. Walter and I just I think wanted to make a living doing music because it was the only thing we were interested in. And then we also, at the same time, I think we're fairly arrogant. And we thought that if we really worked at it, some people had to like it.
Your everlasting summer, you can see it fading fast. So you grab a piece of something that you think is gonna last. Well, you wouldn't even know a diamond if you held it in your hand. The things you think are precious, I can't understand. Are you reeling in the years, stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine? Are you reeling in the years, stowing away the time?
Walter and I had very similar tastes. We were both kiddie jazz fans, which was very unusual at the time. We also liked R&B and Motown and a few other groups that were big when we were in high school, like the Byrds and the Beatles. I think with the original band, they were great, very energetic, and we were all kids, really. But some of the guys weren't stylistically what we were looking for, and there were some various vices that were involved that were obstacles to giving a really great performance, we felt. As we started, getting better at making records, we also started getting these ideas which were more specific. Originally, it was just the 5-6 guys in the band, and, we let them do what they do. But after a while, we started... we wanted to play around in a kind of almost postmodern sense with taking classic stuff and twisting it.
Ricky, don't lose that number. You don't want to call nobody out. Send it off in a letter to your child. Ricky, don't lose that number. It's the only one you own. You might use it if you feel better when you get home.
We didn't like playing TV because, to an extent, we didn't like being on camera, so there's not much documentary footage. I think both of us had, to a degree, a kind of shyness or kind of a physical diffidence.
William and Mary won't do now. Well, I did not think the girl could be so cruel. And I'm never going back to my old
I don't listen to my own work, but that's mainly because I'm so I don't like to hear my voice. I always hear the flaws in it. I know I got a nice style and all that, but I always I love people with great technique. I feel exposed, or like when I finished mixing the Nightfly record, I had kind of a nervous breakdown. When I was writing with Walter, it was kind of a distance I could keep, and I was playing roles in a way, and but the Nightfly was like personal. It was like, stuff that I was actually emotionally involved with as a kid and all that. And although it was a complete surprise to me, when I was finished with that, I didn't want it to come out. It was like I sort of like, I've made a terrible mistake. You know, I think it came out good, but I don't want anyone to actually hear it.
New York to Paris, where by 76 will be okay.
What a beautiful world this will be. What a glorious time to be free. What a beautiful world this will be. What a glorious time to be free.
Walter and I, took a break starting in 79 or 80. I met Libby Titus, who was doing these shows in restaurants. She would produce these really funny, really entertaining shows that had some comedy and music. And we both came up with the idea of this kind of rock and soul review idea. We'd get people to come down because they all loved those tunes. A lot of fun doing that stuff. And then we had an opportunity to take it on the road. And so we got, I called Mike McDonald and Bob Skaggs and Chuck Jackson, Phoebe Snow, and took it on the road, and it was really fun. That's how Walter got back. The second year we did that, he was in town, and he sat in a few times, and we did a Steely dance song, and everyone was freaking out, so we'd say, hey, why don't we try getting a new band together? Walter was ill for some years before he died, and his role, because of that, his role was somewhat diminished. So I was kind of running it by myself, and he'd show up for the occasional rehearsal. When someone's ill, they tend to want more routine. I guess it's just less for them to deal with if you've got... So he liked to do a pretty similar set list every night. We'd switch out some tunes, but, I didn't want to upset him or make it difficult for him, so I just went along with it. Since he died, I've tried to mix it up a little more. And when I was writing with Walter, there was a kind of more objective or journalistic approach where I was often sort of the songs I'd be kind of playing a character. Walter was very articulate in the way that he would put things, so that I have to do that all by myself now. We've been out so long, I guess, that we have a lot of fans of different ages. Some people just like the melodies and the vibe of it, and then other people are more, they analyze it more thoroughly. We're doing something different in that we knew more chords than most of the other guys, that it was going to be different sounding, so we felt we had a chance.